Hey everybody, Kellen here. And you know what? I wanted to come and talk about YouTube management. I get a lot of questions. People say, how did you get into managing YouTubers, influencers, and doing these type of deals and businesses that you are doing currently? And I tell them it was a decade worth of hard work of just being present. Started as a journalist and just, from journalism being extremely nosy. And one of the things you have to keep in mind about doing any type of management, that many type of people that you are managing, this is their first time with this type of popularity, sometimes money. I've had folks call me and say, hey, I just made my first 50,000 in my first quarter of doing YouTube. I don't even know what to do with the money. I got brands reaching out to me. I don't know what to do. And I tell them, well, let's sit and let's talk and let's see if you are the type of person who will be able to work with, because you cannot, if you ever want to become a manager, you can't work with everyone. You have to find people that I say are as crazy as you, or at least you understand they're crazy and they understand yours. So the first rule is always to be honest and upfront. I recently told a friend of mine that I really vibed with at a conference that I'm not going to be the person that you want for this. I'm not going to be the person that you want, because you and I are, I'm servicing different than you want to be serviced. And I run business differently, and that's just not going to be able to happen. And I said, no love lost. And, we keep it moving. And that was fine. And that's cool. And you have to do that quite often, because if someone is asking you to manage them, you are probably a likable person, and being a likable person means you are very sought after. And after doing this, probably on my 10th year, I was very sought after. I've always had a business structure. I wouldn't have to advertise, because if I have to, advertise heavy or really go out there and beg for work, it's not going to work for the type of services I'm providing. It's full service, but with that comes a lot of things that clients usually, they don't count for, and they don't say, oh, wow, yeah, this person's going to have, software that can cost over $10,000 to do this job. They don't know that. That's for me to know, and they don't have to know that. But I have to know that I can afford to get these softwares and pay for trips and flights to conferences. So there's a lot that comes with being a good manager, especially if you are, labeled a business manager, because I know some people say, oh, I do management or project management for my client, but I'm not necessarily their manager. I'm not their agent. We do everything. We can even do their PR, and I can do their PR because that's where I got, after writing, I started with the PR because I knew all the journalists. Now I know all the publicists, especially with having my own show, Diversified Game. And I know all the publicists, and I've always been able now to pull at other publicists, and I can, pay other publicists to do some of that PR work that I might not have the time for, because it just depends. Every client, especially nowadays, people are trying to pull to their audience, and some folks already have the audience. They just don't have the structure of the team and the strategy. And I love that stuff, being able to put that together. In the words of Alan Weiss, they are paying you for your brain. Now let's break that down. If they are paying you for your brain, that means you need to be feeding your brain, feeding your knowledge, feeding all of that stuff. You need to be able to get your point across, even when, if you hear that buzzing, the gardeners are here. Hello. You need to still be able to keep pushing and moving and not have anything distract you. That buzzing can't distract you like it doesn't distract me, because I have a purpose and a message that I want to get out no matter what time of the day. And I have to feed my brain after I do this. I have to read another book. Try to shoot for a book a week if you want to get into business management, so you can learn. That's the only thing that colleges really charging us for, is to read books and do reports, and we could do those things on our own if we have the discipline. So feed your brain. And people are paying now for all the books that I've read in the past, for all the conferences that I've read in the past. And my in the future work is coming from all the things that we're going to be doing currently in the future. But you can't practice once you become a manager. You got to have some knowledge, and you don't necessarily have to have college, but I can tell the difference between someone who reads and someone who doesn't. And a lot of times the people who don't read a lot did not pursue college. But the most brilliant people that I know did not finish college. So see how that works? It's not college will make or break you, but if you're average and you have average skill, it surely can't hurt you. And I know people who you couldn't tell the difference. You wouldn't know who these people are. And on my KELLEN KASH YouTube, you can go back to YouTube's way back with Elijah the Prophet. Brilliant guy. I always say, smartest person I know. Has so much knowledge on every single thing, but you would see him as a transient, as homeless, even though he's not. He has a place. He just is different. And some people would say, hey, he has mental health issues. He doesn't. He's just different. So I say all that to say, if you want to get into business management, you got to find the right clients. And the right clients, sometimes they'll come to you, and sometimes you'll have to reach out and say, I can help solve a problem that you have. And if you can do that, if you can get into problem solving, entrepreneurship is for you, because that's all entrepreneurship is. It's solving a problem. A lot of folks complain about the problems. Our brains turn and say, how can we fix this problem? How can we take it to the next level? This is what gets you in trouble if you have a problem solving mentality, because you'll be at a job in corporate, and whether you're low or high, but especially if you're middle and low on the totem pole, you're trying to, hey, I could do this better. Nobody wants to hear how you could do it better, even if you're more productive. I've done that at jobs, and they're like, wait, but we've always done it this way. We want you to do it this way. And I'm like, I did 3 times the amount, if not more, on the computer doing it this way. And, school teaches you that in college. You guys, if you follow me at all, you've heard me talk about Rich, aka Brandon. And Rich, I remember he got a D in a graphics class by Dr. Lee because he didn't do it the way she wanted to do. Rich could run circles around anybody in graphics at the university to this day that he works at. And people are like, oh, but do it this way. He got a D. And I've seen that even in nursing, folks didn't pass because they didn't do it this way. But once they got to the hospital, that's how everybody was doing it. It's total just nonsense, but that's the old school way, and the new school way is now let's do it faster. Let's do it better. But corporate is corporate, and to do in management. And if you need to be in management, you will find that person. Just keep pushing. Do not give up, because, clients can come and go. We have a very high rate of folks staying because what we do is unique, and we're taking a lot of the busy work out of people's schedules. And people don't want to do that busy work, but there are some people who do still want to do that busy work. And I tell them, you're not moving fast enough. I said, you got to come back when you're ready to trust other people and really build a team, really build a business. And not just there's anything wrong with solopreneurship, but solopreneurship might have you in 5 different fields, 5 different things need to be in 5 different cities at one time. That means we have to find a strategy for you to do that. And if you're not willing to give up the editing, I've had folks say they're not willing to give up the editing on their own. It's the biggest killer of YouTube. Might do a whole video on that one time. But I just want to tell you, management, I love it for those people who are able to afford what many think is a premium price. They should see what some of my mentors get paid on their retainer monthly. But management is such a great thing because it's a great fit. I don't feel like I have a job. I love business, but the management side, it's not a job. It's more of a purpose, making sure you get the best for your client. And it doesn't always mean you have all the ideas. I many a times tell my clients, hey, go talk to a lawyer about that. Talk to your CPA about that. This is my thought on it, but I want you to get that professional opinion because that's the legal thing to do. That's the ethical thing to do. That's the thing that I'd want someone to do for me if they didn't have a JD or a CPA. Very few people have a JD and a CPA, but shout out to YouTuber Mark Collier who has both, and I enjoy his stuff. So, you really have to be a manager. Be honest, be consistent, be a thinker, be an out the box thinker, be on time, be early, be the door handler, even the person who may need to grab a bag to help your client because you don't know your client, might have brought too many bags and you might need to even play the photographer, the videographer. Like, take the things off what you are and understand that you are building up a business and you are guarding that client. You are protecting that client from, everything you can think of to be in harm's way. So, I like to make these videos short and sweet. And I appreciate you guys if you would like, share, subscribe, whether you're listening or you're watching, because somebody out there needs management. They need to, increase their revenue. They have the audience, but they don't have the bag that's going to secure them for the next 15 to 20 years into retirement. And that's the things that I love to do at colemanprfirm.com, cprfirm.com for short. So reach out, if you think we'd be a good fit, if you need the help. And keep in mind, yes, it is a retainer fee, but if you don't build a team, how do you build the dream? You guys be blessed.